Welcome to the webinar. Welcome to the webinar for expanding your business to Walmart Canada. This is a joint webinar between SellCord and Walmart, which we're very excited about. Thank you very much to the Walmart team, to Serge and Jay, and everyone from the Walmart Canada team for joining us here. And some brief introductions. I'm David. I'm one of the co-founders of SellCord, acting as the COO. I run operations. I work with some top clients working on helping grow businesses on Walmart.com. SellCord is a fully Walmart-focused agency, full service, A to Z. We work on Walmart US, and we also work on Walmart Canada, Walmart Mexico, Walmart International as a whole. We'll be discussing a little bit more about SellCord in this webinar and how we can help you grow your business on Walmart Canada. I'll throw it over to Serge.
Yeah, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. So my name is Serge Chaudhry. I'm a senior manager on the international marketplace team. So our sole priority is to ensure that we're helping brands, resellers, and retailers expand their business across borders. We're specifically, my team is focused on getting sellers into Canada. So we've seen a giant influx this year, just given the state of the state with sellers interested in expanding across borders. So we've worked very closely with SellCord, and we continue to do so, but excited to share more about how we can partner with you guys going forward.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Serge. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the opportunity and how we can help you with this. So selling cross-border is really a great way to grow your business, right? You have obviously your existing business already on Walmart US, or any other marketplaces, and you're looking to expand cross-borders. So we'll be discussing later on, what opportunities Walmart Canada has to offer, how large they are. But for a lot of people, it's like another thing for them to do. People already busy with their existing businesses, especially, in e-com, everyone's busy right now. It's like a lot of promotion season. Everyone has a lot on their plate. It's difficult to kind of add on another marketplace, another thing on your shoulders, especially if it's a newer opportunity. It's growing. So that's where we at SellCord really step in. We have experience. Again, we're full service with Walmart. Really understand the platform. There are many similarities between Canada and US. We really know how it works. We understand how to make all the optimizations. We understand what drives traffic, how to really grow the business, and we act as an arm. We act as a part of your team to be able to take your existing business, and you're pretty much just hands off. The only thing that you really have to do is just manage the inventory piece. We'll be discussing that a little bit more. Yeah, but that's how we work. We work as an extension to your team. What are some of the advantages, of Walmart Canada? And it's interesting, I've been pitching Walmart for years to people, and I always say, this is a great opportunity for your brand because of these specific reasons. It is less competitive than let's say, Amazon, for example. But, as we've seen Walmart continue to grow and continue to get more and more competitive, now it's like, okay, what's the next step? Let's say you want to go and explore even new markets. And that's where, Walmart Canada really comes in. So it's even, there's lower competition and a higher reward. You have more of an opportunity, it goes further, you have the ability you have that first mover advantage, as it's called, right? Your ability to just get your listings on there. And when you think of like algorithmically how listings work, is that the more presence and the longer they've had time to really build and exist on a platform, the longer they sustain and the longer ability to really last, as the market does continue to grow. And if you're able to get an early move here, you're able to just maintain that rank throughout. So this is how it's really important, to really, move on this, get your listing set up, be able to really get your products to grow within their keywords and really within their categories, become a dominant player. And then as the competition comes in, you already won. You are already there first, and it's much less costly to maintain it. And that's the second piece here, which is the impactful advertising and the lower investment. We're not going to focus too much on ads in this session, but what is pretty obvious, when you don't have as much competition, you're winning many things at the base bids, right? You don't have to spend much. You're able to win, at your lowest bid possible and still able to dominate, become top of search, which again helps to drive that organic rank and just keep your listings on top of the page. So right now, with the fewer competitors that you have in the space, in fact, many spaces, there might not even be people advertising at all right now. So you can either win very low or you can win at maybe slightly higher, and getting in ahead of the things. Again, this is a great way to be able to, get ahead of the curve and really keep your listings on a platform that will only continue to grow over the coming years. All right. So how do we as SellCord act as an extension of your team? So we have dedicated account managers. We have an account management team, that you'd have a dedicated person specifically working to your account. We have a few different team members. We have an account manager that will help you, with everything listing related. I just really own the strategy part. We also have an advertising account manager who will help you actually growing the listings further if you want to use the media piece. There's obviously the combination of content and media. We help with a seamless onboarding. You know, it's a new platform. You need to go ahead, you need to take your listings, you need to bring them to the platform, you need to do the optimization, the same time that you spent on your other marketplaces, that you spent on Walmart US, that you have to spend to get your listings to a good spot. We know how important this is to be able to really grow your product. So that's something that we help with. We know the back end, we know fluently how it works, we're familiar with it. We also have a great relationship with the Walmart Canada team over here that if we do run into any issues, just reach right out and boom, they're able to help us out with anything that's necessary. Cross-listing optimization to be able to work to optimize not just like you have your US listing that has to be tweaked a little bit. It's maybe a little bit of a different selling point. And you want to pitch to the Canada marketplace. And lastly over here, obviously our advertising management. You have a team that has, been extremely successful with our US advertising, has been working on Canada advertising since it began. And we've seen some great results thus far. Like I'm saying, it's very new, which really gives us a lot of advantages that if you could figure it out quick, it's a great way to really grow your business. Let's chat a little bit about why brands choose SellCord. So, like I mentioned, we are exclusively focused on Walmart. So I don't think of Walmart as like an alternative or a secondary or, additional marketplace. This is what we do. We only do Walmart and we know Walmart well. So that's what kind of gives us that advantage. That SellCord's like, okay, I'm going with SellCord because I know they know Walmart. It's not like another guy that's just like checking off a box on another service that they could offer. We do work very closely with Walmart. As you guys see here, we're doing the shared partnership, the shared webinar over here. So if there's new beta programs that are coming out, any type of support that's needed, you have that. And then again, we do act as a support for your team, as an extension of your team to be there to handle really everything from A to Z. You just got to send in the inventory and we'll take it from there. All right. I'm going to throw it over to Serge to take over for everything Walmart CA.
Awesome. Thank you, David. And first things first, I usually love to keep this as lively and conversational as possible, but I can't see everyone. So I will trust that if you do have questions or if you do have anything that comes to mind, that you'll use the Q&A box at the bottom. And we have some of our teammates, my teammates that are on the line that can help answer those questions. And if we don't get to those on today's webinar, we will follow up with you. So just wanted to make sure we got that across. So to kick off, as David said, SellCord is a premier partner for Walmart. They're an extension of our team. We look at them as fulfilling services that typically an account management team would do internally at a brand. But if you look at our team specifically, we're located here at the lovely home office in Bentonville. So we have different teammates that are focused on different verticals within the overall ecosystem. So I focus on home. My teammates here focus on electronics. Jay's on the line. I have Kat who focuses on food and consumables, health and wellness. And then I have Colleen who focuses primarily on hard lines. And then Tate focuses on apparel. And then Lane helps us run the entire organization here. And so while we are based in the US and we're based in Bentonville, we work closely with all of our US sellers or any brand that's outside of Canada and helping them launch cross-border. So if you do get emails from us, that's pretty much the reason why. So shifting into Walmart Canada, why Walmart Canada? So I'll set the stage. It's the second most visited retail website. So we see over 25 million unique visitors for the month, and that's about 1.5 million potential customers every day. So it's a proven engine of growth on Canada's second most visited retail website. And year over year, we continue to see that impressive growth. And because of that, it's been a strategic lever, not only for Walmart, but also for the brands and resellers that we work with. And if any brand reseller is serious about growing their business in Q4, now is the time to really have that conversation and think about Walmart Canada as part of that strategy. All right. We'll move on to this slide that really goes over the customer segment. So we've seen a lot of shifts after 2022, but predominantly the numbers don't lie here. So we're reaching every segment across the board, and that's what's most important here. Families with kids make up over half of that. So the basket sizes tend to be very healthy. They go across multiple categories, and the demand is very, very broad. And over half of our customers are in that medium to high income bracket, and nearly 80% of those are highly educated. So going back to that 2022 figure that I threw out there, so when we saw inflation start to increase, that's when we saw the high income affluent customers start to turn to Walmart Canada as well as Walmart.com. So we've been very good at getting this audience segment that's not just bargain hunters. They're smart, they're selective, and they're very brand conscious. And it's a great growth opportunity. So if you're wondering whether Canada will buy from US sellers, your answer's right here. Over 60% of their disposable income goes to US goods and services. They're not just comfortable with cross-border shipping or shopping, but they expect it. So we're not asking anybody to change habits here. It's really about meeting them exactly where they are today. So your brand can tap in directly into that willingness, that openness. And with the Walmart brand equity that we have, it will surely enable you to reach them smoothly without any hurdles. And I know a lot of us are thinking about cross-border in general. It can be difficult thinking about shipping items to customers in a timely manner. One of the services that we offer, as a lot of you may know, is very similar to the U.S. offering, which is Walmart Fulfillment Services. So it's very similar to what we have in the U.S. as well as FBA. It's our version of a fast and efficient scaled fulfillment solution. So in layman's terms, this is kind of the 1P experience as a 3P seller. So we currently have 2 warehouses in Canada, and we're expanding our business as we grow year over year. So we are talking about 2-day delivery times across 10 different provinces. That's coast to coast with none of those typical cross-border headaches as soon as you get your products into those warehouses. And WFS is really how your brand delivers that reliability at scale in a new market without setting up a warehouse in Canada if you don't have one currently. And why WFS? So in short, we tell our sellers that if you want to succeed on Walmart Canada, it's a must. So it's been proven to increase conversion through SEO. So you'll get the WFS badge on walmart.ca. That really helps with your placement, really helps you get up high in those results. And that's primarily because we're guaranteeing shipping times. So sellers who started off fulfilling their own orders as seller fulfilled, they switched over to WFS. In that 6-month period, they saw an increase of 10x in revenue growth. And that's been something we've seen time over time. So sellers that want to test the waters with WFS, do an A to B comparison of getting it out of their own 3PL to the customer, they've seen a significant growth just working WFS. So if you're testing the market, that's easy. If you want to go all in, that's even better. So it's about lowering the barrier to entry while keeping the customer experience top tier. And the goal here is to help you win in Canada without needing to reinvent your operations. The pricing fee, it's very simple. So as a follow-up, we'll be sending out this deck. If you wanted to click on that QR code, fingers crossed that's updated. But if it's not, we'll have a new one out to you. But essentially, if you go to Marketplace Learn on the Canada side of the website, you'll see our most recent fees page, our eligibility requirements for WFS packages. So we've increased the weight limits. We have different pricing. I'm sorry, we don't have different pricing because we've kept our fees flat since 2023, but we have new seller incentives that we just announced on the 14th, so 2 days ago. So part of these new seller incentives, they involve 50% off of referral rates if you go live with at least one item before the month is over. So just to be clear, if you open up a Canada Seller Center account and you list an item, you're cross-listing, whatever you want to, you'll get 50% off your referral fees for anything that's fulfilled with WFS. And then on top of that, if you do want to still try Seller Fulfilled, you'll get 25% off referral fees just for getting at least one item listed. And this will go through until the end of January. So you have through Q4 to have this discount. And then there are some additional storage fee discounts that we have broken down on a table that will be in that link that we share. All right. Now, onboarding is very simple too. So for all of you that do have a US Seller Center account, I recommend if you have a tab open and you want to go into your US Seller Center account just to double check and see if you can find the Canada flag. So what you'll have to do is once you open up your account, you click on the American flag at the top right, and then you should have the Canadian flag live, and you should be able to click on it. And if not, you let us know, and we'll help fix that. So if it's grayed out currently, just let us know. But once you get set up here, it's a four-step process, very simple, even simpler if you do have a US account because you skip the market and business verification. You skip any of the anti-money laundering questionnaires that we typically ask new sellers, and you can just skip over to set up your payment processor and then get started with listing your catalog. And it's even easier than ever. So we did announce this last year, but we started to revamp it and make it more seller friendly. So we have a few different options for adding your items onto Walmart Canada. So the first most basic option is to download that lovely spreadsheet or that Excel sheet and fill out that template. The other ways are to use an API provider to get your assortment live. The ways that are listed here. So with cross listing, that's a new feature that if you go onto your US account and you go into your catalog, you can select items and then you can hit cross list. And then you can, if you have a Canada account up and running, you can easily just copy that over to your Canadian catalog. So very simple. If you run into any hurdles, there's an FAQ page, but we've seen a lot of success in just getting up and running and getting your catalog out that way. And as an exclusive, I did want to say that in partnership with SellCord, we are offering our white glove service team for anybody that is interested on this call today that wants to list their items. So we have a white glove support team that will help essentially scrape your US catalog and then list those items on your Canada Seller Center site. So this isn't an offer that's open to everybody. So we just wanted to let you know that if you choose to work with us, you just let us know that you would like to leverage that service. We could do it complimentary at no cost. All right. This is a little more detail about product listing and the things that will be published across your catalog, including reviews, and then your listing quality should be maintained. So those are the exciting things. And then you could always change things like the images as you have that live on Canada. And if you are the brand owner and you're currently on the phone today and you do have questions about content ownership, that's another question you can send us as a follow-up, just in case you're experiencing any issues there. All right, so this is, I'd like to say, hey, take a screenshot of this. This is really what what it means to be successful on Walmart Canada as a seller. The things I'd like to point out first are just, not doing this alone. I think having the ability to reach out to an actual team, actual people to assist you with launching your items in a timely manner, but to also help answer any questions that you have. Just letting you guys know that we're here, but also SellCord with their their depth of services that stretch out to Walmart Connect. They're also here as well to be an extension of our team. I know it can be tough sometimes when you run into issues and you send out a support message and it goes into a black box, and who knows when your answer or when your question will be answered. But one of the primary things that we like to focus on is our service, that we really want to make this seller experience as positive as possible. And the referral fees, again, another screenshot slide. So it's identical to what you'd expect in the US. And going back to the new seller incentives, I'll repeat it again. If you get your items, at least one item with inventory live on Walmart Canada before July 31st, you will get 25% off of the current referral fees until January 31st, 2026, and then 50% off the referral fees through January 2026 if you fulfill that with WFS. So that's a lot of if, then, this, that. So I'll make sure it's in writing so you guys have visibility to it. But the call to action is the quicker you at least get an item listed into your catalog, you don't have to sell anything per se. We just want to get you into the system so you can be eligible for those offers. All right. So we'll pause for any questions. We'll do our best to answer. And as we said, if we can't get to anything on today's call, we can gladly follow up. But yeah, David, I'll kick it over to you to start.
Yeah, amazing, Serge. Really appreciate the in-depth review of everything needed. Again, really excited here for to share this opportunity. We do have a lot of, I see, technical questions coming in here in the chat. I do see Tate and Jay jumping in over there to answer some of them. Yeah, we could definitely go through some of these over here. It looks like we have a couple of questions with regards to 1P. I see two over here.
Yeah.
I see we have one here from Cindy. I see Jay is jumping on it right now. If we also go on 1P in Canada, can we set up a brand store like we have in the USA?
Yeah, Jay's going through that right now. I won't steal your thunder, Jay. I can see him across from my desk. I'll let him answer that one. So with the brand store, so you can have a brand page that's an offering, but it does function differently from what we have currently in the US. So we have a standalone brand page, and that's something that a brand can be chosen to do as a service on our behalf. So in short, you're a brand, get in touch with us, and we work with our site experience team to create those brand portals or those brand pages. And it's even better if you already have one established on the US marketplace, because we typically like to copy that HTML or those PDPs and just drag it over to Walmart Canada. So in short, it's close to the US experience, but there is kind of a waiting period until you can actually have that site. All right.
Fantastic. Yeah, I do see also over here, Carrie Armentrout had a question about hazmat in
Yeah.
WS for Canada. Um, yeah, I know in the US you have to have like an SDS and just some different things in order to get that approved over there. And maybe some details about how that works in Canada.
Yes. Okay. So for eligibility requirements, hazmat. So let's see here. Let's follow up on that, Carrie, because we do have really specific guidelines, especially with what you mentioned. I know that I don't know if you're registered with UL Works registration, but we're working on pieces that will allow hazmat items to be offered in Canada. So currently, we don't have some of that enabled. Currently, some of that's restricted, but we can have more of an open conversation about it if you want to follow up with us. Hope that's helpful.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I see here Regina has a couple of questions. Are sellers required to ship in the first 90 days before partnering with WFS?
Uh, so you're not required to ship. So Jay, I'll let you answer that one. I'm going to go to the top. Do you want to answer that one, Jay? I'm going to go to the top. I see bearish. I'll be blunt with my answer. So let's call it 10%. If you do, and it's only 10% if you do Walmart Connect, if you do WFS, and if you have great quality, if you have a great quality score. So this is a two-way partnership. I have a lot of sellers ask me, really, what can I expect in sales if I was to do this tomorrow? It's 10%. That's what we look at as the floor. We've also seen a lot of sellers be more successful than that because the sheer number of sellers in Canada is significantly less than what we have in the US. So you're less diluted in Canada. There's less competition, but at the same time, I don't have the statistics on me, but it's close to 20x more viewers per seller products on Walmart Canada versus the US. So just the impressions, the amount of times people are visiting the items that you have the buy box for, it's higher. And then another thing I'll mention here, because Canada is predominantly deals led. So if you participate in deals, that's the other part of this faction that you have to participate in if you want to have 10% of those sales. Yeah, so hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it didn't. Hopefully that was blunt.
I always like to say on that one that it really varies on the category as well. Like if something's like more high demand in Canada, that product, or if there's not necessarily as many competitors, you have a lot more of opportunity. Like, some areas are obviously going to be more saturated than others. But if you're coming in there, you just take a look at what exists today on the marketplace. You just go to walmart.ca, take a look at like some top keywords, check if there are people already advertising, see how aggressive it is, see how you can come in price wise. Are you able to provide a similar or better pricing? And boom, you can just understand, like, if you have a product that does sell well in the US, Canadians are people too, and they'll also like to buy the same products. The products that are successful in one marketplace should typically be successful in others. So if you have a good product, good pricing, good everything, you should be able to succeed. And again, take a look at the competition.
Yeah, and I want to touch on, so I see two related to tariffs, and then I see Pinky's question really getting into specifics with logistics and customs documentation. So, Pinky, can you email me after this? We have some solutions, we have some information that we can share with you in regards to getting that support with logistics or understanding what's needed there. Um, and then for tariffs in general, what I'll say is it really depends on the origin of your product. If you are shipping from China to North America, whether it's Canada or US, that it's really going to depend where your product is coming in from. And just as an example, so I have a seller right now. They sell very affordable furniture to start off this year. They had a great deal with first party in the US for Walmart, but as soon as the tariff news came out, people it became a little hectic on both ends, and that deal was pretty much cut in half. So they had to figure out what to do with this inventory, and where to go with it instead of just keeping it at the docks in China. So we came in as a potential option to say, hey, you can send it directly to Canada, just given the sales, just given the traction that we've seen in Canada. Let's test this market out and try some of your SKUs out here. And if we're successful, that's fantastic. Then we can still hedge our risk or hedge our bets on North American sales by putting some more inventory into Canada. And I think that's a strategy that should be widely taken in, especially if you're taking direct manufactured goods from an Asian country or somewhere, just anywhere on the East, and you anticipate in Q4 you're going to have to send that over to North America, or you've already planned for it. Let's have that conversation, see if this is the right strategy for you to ship it directly to Canada. All right.
Yep. Let's see. I see one more question here. Are referral fees just for WFS or also for sell fulfill? I believe referral fees are across the board. That's just
Yeah,
same as in the Walmart US. Referral fees are just on any sale. WFS would be specific to WFS fees.
that's right.
We cleared the queue. Great. We got the questions answered. I guess if there's any more questions, please drop them in. We can hang around for a couple more minutes, chat on this, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, you have her information as well. Just reach out to either of us. We really appreciate your time. Thanks everyone for joining. Really, I'm always excited to talk to sellers and potential sellers in Canada. We're really excited to just see what this year holds. We're getting ready for record-breaking Q4, so we'd love to have your products in for the holiday season. Again, you know how to get in touch with us. If you have any questions, just please reach out. All right.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, like just to echo on what Serge is saying here, there's some great incentives to join now as a seller. It's a great time. It's early on. Get ahead of the curve. Get in now. You could get white glove services. You have also SellCord support to be able to get your listings optimized and everything over there. You have a great team over here. As you can see, everyone here is answering all these questions. They're always readily available for you to answer anything from the Walmart side. In the US, it's a little saturated. It might be a little bit difficult to get in touch with some people. You might have to go through some things here. You guys are getting directly top of the line folks. You're getting senior managers here ready to assist you and to support you. They're here to help you grow. So definitely take advantage of that, guys. And yes, please, if you do have any questions, you could always reach out to info@SellCord. You can email me directly, even david@sellcord.co. Please reach out. Or to Serge or any of his team members, you can reach out to him as well. I saw like one of the questions came through about not having the option for Canada. If that's something you're experiencing, please reach out. That's definitely something that can get enabled for your account.
Yep.
See one question here from Judy. Does Walmart CA act as an importer?
Nope. So we are not the importer of record. So I can link the marketplace learn site that goes into detail about that. So simply put, you would be considered the importer of record. So that would make you responsible for taxes and remitting them. There is a whole section on how that works on the marketplace learn side. And since I'm not a tax advisor, I don't want to butcher it on the call today, but we have great resources that could go in depth on that. And as David mentioned, if you do have any follow-ups, we can help answer those.
Amazing. Fantastic. Serge, I really appreciate you, your team, Jay, Colleen, Tate. Did I miss anyone? No. That's everyone here today, and obviously, the rest of the Walmart Canada team that helped get this set up. Um, yeah, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Serge. Thanks everyone
Thank
else.
you. Yeah, thanks, SellCord team, and thanks everyone. Really appreciate it. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
Amazing. All right, everybody.